And guests, good morning, Nigeria. One gains of president visits to the Netherlands translate into actionable programs. House of Representatives advocates establishment of dedicated fund for schools safety. The National Working Committee of Governing All Progressives Congress receive Appeal Committee report on Ondo State governorship primaries. Hello and welcome to News Desk Hour 3 here on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from our studio here in Abuja. I am Claire Adelabu Abdul Razak. And diplomatic and economic experts are advising that the gains of President Tinubu's recent visit to the Netherlands be translated into actionable programs by the various ministries. This was while reviewing the visit, during which both countries agreed to set up a binational commission to actualize the agreements, which included projects such as the National Livestock Transformation Plan. Our correspondent, Kimini Williams, monitored the report.
Bola Tinubu last week visited the Netherlands on a state visit, during which high-level discussions with the Prime Minister Mark Rutte was had, as well as the private sector. The gains of the visit include bilateral agreements in diverse sectors. A major highlight is $250 million worth of new investment over the next few months, including a $100 million investment in a waste-to-wealth industrial facility. Economic and diplomatic experts on the program noted that Nigeria has a lot to benefit from the strategic partnership with the Netherlands.
You will agree with me that one of the critical problems we have been having is the issue of clearance of goods at our various ports, and our inability to have organized our ports in a very, very good manner that foreign ships could berth, and clearance of goods and services should be done in record time. Now, through this type of visits, this issue of port congestions in Lagos and in many of our ports would have been addressed. We will learn from Netherlands. How are they being able to do it? How have they been able to organize their port system? So if you look at what the minister was saying in the areas of also ICT, a lot of benefits will come to the country.
The guest noted the strength of the economy of the Netherlands, including a $1.9 trillion GDP ratio, and said the Nigerian government should consider exploring their expertise in the aviation, maritime security, and agriculture sectors.
We should now actually seek for competencies whereby our research institutions can be upgraded. Some of them are still working with facilities of the 1960s and 70s. I think we need to have really a summit on power in Nigeria if we are serious, to discuss all the complexities, all the challenges of the power sector. And then, based on the aggregate outcomes of this summit discussion, then we can decide where to go.
Technology transfer. We have a lot to learn from Netherlands. So we can also partner with KLM to see how we can jumpstart our Nigerian air, or also refurbish our airports to international standards.
The guest further advised research institutes in the country to provide a roadmap on how local investors can benefit from this partnership based on the peculiarities of the region. In Abuja, Kimini Williams, NTA News.
And Senate reconvenes plenary after about 6 weeks of recess in the remodeled Red Chamber. Now, lawmakers of the 10th Senate are sitting in the redesigned chamber for the first time since the inauguration on June 13th, 2023. The chamber has been undergoing renovation since August 2022. Plenaries were before now being held in the temporary chamber, which was a committee room converted for that purpose. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has also received Assembly correspondent Matari Ikme reports that the House held plenary in the renovated chamber equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, which lawmakers say befit the dignity of the legislature. Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, in his opening remarks at plenary, says the Green Chamber remains committed to securing lives and property in the country by supporting the security agencies. While condemning the speed of terrorist attacks on schools this year, the House advocates establishment of a dedicated fund specifically for school safety.
Which is the sanctuaries of learning and safety have become targets for terrorists and kidnappers. These acts are not only heinous, but are direct attacks on the future of Nigeria and rob children of their right to education and secure childhood. The implication of these assaults stretch far beyond the immediate pain and destruction they cause. They sow fear in communities, discourage school attendance, and potentially stifle the education of the generation. We will not allow the ambitions of our children to be thwarted by fear. The House stands united with the armed forces and will advocate for comprehensive strategies to safeguard our schools.
Speaker Abbas enjoined lawmakers to rededicate themselves to legislating for the welfare and well-being of Nigerians. He stressed that to whom much is given, much is expected. And the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has deregulated the prices of meters deployed under the Meter Asset Provider Scheme MAP with effect from May 1, 2024. The Commission says this is to enable customers to acquire meters from MAPs of their choice based on competitive open market prices determined from transparent bidding frameworks. In an order signed by the chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, Sanusi Garba, NERC states that the regulation, the Commission says it notes the need for efficient pricing of meters to respond more quickly to changes in macroeconomic parameters, particularly exchange rates. By this order, all electricity distribution meter asset providers with the DISCO's head-end systems and meter data management systems. In other stories, gender strategy for the mining and steel sectors and the Women in Mining in Nigeria strategy have been unveiled by the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alaki. The two strategic documents focus on 8 key areas, including action against women abuse and gender biases as active women participation.
Development, empowering women in mining in Nigeria, ensuring that women in mining are also in the leadership positions, even in the governance structures, to ensure sustainability of the sector. These are some of the 8-point agenda for women in mining, for strengthening women in mining in Nigeria, and we are pursuing it. And like I said, the Solid Minerals Ministry is a testament to the advancement of women, to the empowerment of women in mining in Nigeria.
The document has also taken into consideration is that there should be focal officers in all departments and agencies of the ministry, and we expect that the private sector should also emulate that to ensure that women issues are promptly addressed before it escalates.
Mainstreaming in that industry. Now let's talk politics. The National Working Committee of the Governing All Progressives Congress has condemned the outcome of the Ondo State Governorship primary election. Appeal Committee for timely delivery of its assignment. Now this was when the chairman of the committee and former governor of Bauchi State, Mohammed Abubakar, presented a copy of the report to the NWC. Political correspondent Abubakar Kwanga tells us more.
The Ondo Governorship Election Appeal Committee was inaugurated on the 18th of April 2024 to entertain complaints from aspirants after the conduct of the exercise, and that assignment was successfully completed and delivered to members of the National Working Committee of the APC. National Working Committee of the APC also received members of the APC disability community, where advocacies were raised on equality, enhanced opportunities, and inclusive participation at all levels of governance. The Buhari House also played host to senior special assistants to the president on various portfolios and urged them to take cue in actualizing the renewed hope mantra of the president. The National Secretariat of APC was a beehive as hundreds of party supporters rolled out drums in solidarity of Dr. Ganduje-led National Working Committee, where loyalty and commitment were reaffirmed.
All over the country, we are receiving new entrants into our party. That has created fear in their minds. They are already eyeing 2027, but 2027, there is no vacancy.
The group urged distractors to allow the national chairman to steer the affairs of the party to stardom, as APC members will rise against any gimmick targeted at its national leadership, as it promised to keep flying the party's flag. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
And let's talk about effective fund management now. And the Accountant General of the Federation, Dr. Oluwatoyin Madenyi, says the revised cash management policy is not transferring the responsibilities of MDAs to her office, but transfers capital expenditures, final point of payment. Dr. Alabi reports that this was at a one-day interactive session with MDAs, directors, and heads of finance and accounts here in Abuja.
This interactive session, second in the series from the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, is for directors and heads of finance and accounts, as well as those from internal audit, procurement and general services of the MDAs as critical stakeholders, to sensitize them on the implementation of the operational guidelines of the revised cash management bottom-up cash planning policy of the federal government.
I'm particularly delighted with the level of preparedness and commitment towards achieving this goal and policy directive for the administration. I must state that Mr. President is desirous of ensuring that the citizenry is served with zeal and determination by ensuring that the economy is properly rejigged for higher performance and value.
Let us be good ambassadors in our various formations so that we do not add any blemish to the name of the trade.
This program is therefore aimed at deepening our understanding of the nitty-gritty of the policy by having an open conversation with critical stakeholders.
The bottom-up policy was therefore conceived to address this issue of keeping some money or funds idle.
Participants are quite fascinated by the policy, but express concerns over procurement and documentation processes, self-accounting MDAs, as well as internal controls and checks.
For the military, there are some procurements that they will not even start if you don't pay 100%. Because when they produce it and you refuse to take it, they can't sell it.
I also believe that every procurement entity must award contracts within the appropriation that is provided for you.
Enrollment of new and deactivation of old users have since commenced and will end on 10th May 2024 to ensure smooth implementation.
We have put in place modality that will ensure that quickly your operations are not affected.
With the revised cash policy, the Treasury finalizes payment for all capital expenditure, while the MDAs continue to finalize their overheads payment. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
And you're watching News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Let's break out now for some messages.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to through the breathtaking scenery of the plateau. In noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
Welcome back. Nigeria and Japan are seeking stronger cooperation in the areas of their mutual interest to address the root causes of terrorism. Now, the issue of Boko Haram in the northeastern part of Nigeria and instability in the Sahel region, among other areas of economic and trade relations. Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga and his Japanese counterpart Kami Kawayoko also agreed to increase the frequency of trade volume of the two countries. Yusuf Tuga received the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Japan in Abuja while he was speaking on areas of more collaboration.
Efforts towards combating the ugly menace of terrorism within the region. On her part, the Japanese Foreign Minister has assured of the continued support of her government towards ending the crisis within the region. Other issues centered on cooperation between Nigeria and Japan at international fora.
International stage, both countries have shared goals on the reform of the United Nations, nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation of weapons, as well as advocacy on women, peace and security. So far, Nigeria considers Japan as a strong ally in bilateral, regional and global affairs. Now, with exposure to heat and extreme weather associated to increasing death, injuries and disease at workplaces, the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund says it has intensified measures towards building habitable working environment. Managing Director of the fund, Maureen Alagwa, made this known while leading a tree planting campaign to mark this year's World Day for Safety and Health at Work. Joseph Otseng reports.
The International Labour Organization reports more than 70% of the global workforce are likely to be exposed to climate change-related health hazards. Heat and extreme weather conditions are leading to increasing cases of cancer, cardiovascular diseases, respiratory illnesses, kidney dysfunction, and mental health conditions. With a mandate to boost occupational safety and health in workplaces, the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund is fronting a tree planting campaign to create better working environment.
The theme is about the impact of climate change. So today what we have demonstrated is the planting of the tree. It's very symbolic because it signifies the purification of the air and the avoidance of erosion, and also for the decrease of depletion of the ozone layer.
The whole world is paying attention to environment to make sure workers don't suffer from heat waves, which results as temperature increases.
The fund says it has conducted about 5,572 occupational safety and health activities at various workplaces across the nation in the last 1 year. Now it is targeting a favorable working environment. Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
All right, now as the saying goes, train a woman and you will be training a nation. But for the organizers of 40 and Fabulous Niger, they seem to be taking it a notch further by also empowering women above the age of 40. And speaking at a press conference ahead of the grand finale built to take place in Abuja, the CEO of 40 and Fabulous Niger, Jole Nenna Abani, notes that the reality TV series, which is in its second season, hopes to empower more than 40 women who have stories to tell. but have no means to do so.
If you're going to somewhere and the road, you're following a very wrong direction until you make a turn to go to the right way, both man and woman, you will not get anywhere. But even at 50, if you make a turn and get married at 50, like the winner of season 1 just got married at 52. Don't know if she's 53 right now because she was 51 and a half, so she should be 53 by now. She got married, so nothing is actually impossible. You know, when these women get 40, they think it's all over. The ones that are widows, the ones, they think it's impossible. They can actually find a soulmate. Every marriage is not just about having children, even though you can have children at 50, 60, science have made it possible. But if you just want to have a soulmate, it's important that you just get up from that depression and get going, dust yourself, and be a fabulous woman.
Just per season alone, we employ over at least 50 people working hands-on. Now, the employment aspect of the show even goes further beyond that, because what we teach people on the show, we teach people how to create wealth, how to create businesses on their own. We teach these women how to build their own businesses. And the audience as well that are watching the show are also benefiting from that. So we're teaching them, like, instead of sitting back home and, waiting to go get employed, why don't you start something? If you're in Abuja, make sure you're there. If you're not in Abuja, make sure you fly to Abuja, because you won't be disappointed. So it's happening on the 4th of May, on Saturday, and it's happening at Transcorp Hilton Hotel. I myself will be there, and trust me, you will be entertained.
Indeed, and the grand finale takes place on May 4th, when an ensemble of a list of entertainers is set to take center stage. Major stories once again. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria want gains of President Tinubu's visit to Netherlands translate into actionable programs. And House of Representatives advocate establishment of dedicated fund for schools safety. National Working Committee of Governing All Progressives Congress receive Appeal Committee report on Ondo State governorship primary.